Before I start the video, this idea was inspired by Aquapines, so go check him out. I'll have a link in the description to his channel. Anyways, today I'm going to be starting a series on making a build mode map in 7 days. At the end, I will make the map public and get others' opinions on how it looks. So hopefully you enjoy this series as much as I enjoyed making it. By the way, I'm having problems with my recordings, so videos might take a while to make. So I decided to make a submarine as the map. I'm starting off with the main spawn point, and then I'll move on to the next room. For the spawn, I decided to make a circular room with checkered floors. I will be adding more details to this room later on. Forgetting I had a limited amount of time, I decided to mess with the floor color and how it should look. Although I have a week to build all of this, you should always remember not to waste time. With offsets, I started on the checkered floor design with cylinders and monitors. This took a while to make, and later on I noticed the floor wasn't even, so I had to try and make it bigger. After that, I started to build the walls with wedges to make the circular room. This is where I found out the floor wasn't even. At first, I made the bottom layer of the wall green, but later on I changed it to blue. I'm going to skip this part because I was just messing with the floor for like 5 to 10 minutes. I started to change the colors because green didn't really fit. I ended up leaving out 4 spaces for 4 doors that will be added later on. Now, I'm making the upper layer of the wall with offsets. I thought of making a white stripe in between the 2 layers for extra detail. This took some time, but it came out amazing at the end. This was the part where I started with the white stripes. I started with filling in some gaps, and then I used offsets for the stripes. Now, I'm starting off with the first door. I haven't thought about where it should lead, but I decided to make a mini hallway that leads to something. Right now, I'm trying to make a flush door. If you don't know what a flush door is, I suggest you watch Also Hyena's video explaining it. I'll have a link to that video in the description. Now that the door is in place, I started on the hallway. I made the wall design the same as the wall design in the main room. I forgot to press record while building the hallway, my bad. Warning, while watching this part of the video, there are a lot of flashing lights from glitching offsets. You have been warned. I used stairs to make a pattern for the bottom part of the walls. I'll speed up the footage because this part is kind of boring. I thought it would be a good idea to add some exposed wires to the walls. I'm starting off with the metal base, and then I'll add the wires. To make the wires, I used a basketball stands for the offset, and then used corner fences. To fill in the gaps, I used monitors for the offset, and then rotated the corner fences upside down to get rid of the gaps. I repeated the same thing onto the other wall with some slight changes. I started on the roof of the hallway. I didn't add anything special to it, but it still looked good at the end. Without noticing, the wall started glitching out, so I had to delete the design I made for the door and redo it. This didn't take long. All I had to do was use offsets in the walls and build the design I made, which took under a minute to make. I started the roof for the circular room and went with a checkered pattern. So the roof doesn't look bland. I added some extra details to it later on, which made it look better. I placed the blocks down first, then I painted them last, to waste less time. I added more detail to the roof with transparent blocks and window blocks. I used the transparent blocks to make the roof a bit darker and used the window blocks to go around each tile. Placing the window blocks took some time, so I'll speed up the video. I also used the window blocks to add more detail to the floor in the hallway. I had to finish some parts of the floor before I could start. I decided to go for a darker color, so the window block would stand out a bit more. In the next episode, I will be building the next room to this map. I am still thinking of what it should be. Let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Also, I might not make an episode every day because I will be very burnt out. Instead, I will post an episode whenever I want, but still spend 7 days building this map.